Hey guys, so today, don't scroll for just a couple of minutes because there is a life lesson in store for you. Do you know how God says in the scriptures, he who has eyes to see, let him see, and he who has ears to hear, let him hear, right? That is an eternal principle, an eternal principle. Apparently, people are accusing me of following Satan. That's so funny. I just think it's so funny. You guys, just because you don't agree with what somebody is saying doesn't mean they're following Satan. Let me tell you how it works in this world, especially with God. If you hear something false, somebody's on here saying something false, who cares? It will fall away, and you will watch it fall away and say, oh, I knew that was nothing. But if it's something that is true, and you refuse to see it, it will come back around again. It might be next week, it might be next month, might be in 5 years, but it will come around again, and he will see if you're ready to listen yet. You know, I thought it was funny because when Jesus was on the earth, they accused him of following Satan too. No, I don't think I'm Jesus, but isn't that funny that that's that way? But when I was leaving the LDS church, it took me a good 6 to 8 months to leave because I prayed, and I prayed for good things. I prayed for good things. I wanted to know, were the golden plates real? Because I'd never had that little Book of Mormon moment where if you, at the end of the Book of Mormon, they tell you to pray about it and the Holy Ghost will tell you it's true. And never had that moment. I was raised in the church. Why wasn't it not? Why was it not true, you know? So I asked if the golden plates were real. I asked if Joseph Smith was called to be a prophet. And I asked something about the leadership in the world today, okay? Because I thought that if I had that rock solid foundation, it would just make my life easier, because I was out speaking and teaching, and I don't like to teach false doctrine, regardless of what you guys might think. And he would tell me, and he would show me something, and then within a couple days, I'm like, oh, no. See, this and this and this. And I would work it out in my brain to where, no, the LDS church is true. Because that's what we do in life. If things go up against our beliefs, we mull it around in our brain until we can come to peace with it. Because, hey, everybody needs to sleep at night, right? Took me 8 months, and one time, maybe 6 months. And one time he did that to me, and probably, like I said, 6 months in, so he had done it probably a million times by that time, because I'm very stubborn. And I prayed, and something happened, and my brain went off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's your answer. In fact, the last 6 months have been your answer. But I was refusing to see, because you know what? It was uncomfortable. I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know what I was going to do, because I was so intertwined in the church. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I've told you before, I have one-liners, right? And I was standing in the closet doing something, hanging something up, and my husband was in the front room, and he's like, we are done. And I'm like, well, we can't just not go to church. Everybody has to go to church, right? And I said, okay, well then where do you want to go? Where are we going to go? And the voice said, you're going to come to me. That's all he said. It's like, okay. So then the next day I'm like, oh, exactly where are you? So that's when we went searching for churches, because if the LDS church wasn't the true church, then we're going to find the one that is, right? I promise you, God has all the patience in the world. If he shows you something and you turn away from it, and it's true, it will come back around again. And you don't know. Maybe this is your first time hearing stuff, and you're going to turn away. But it might be your 5th time hearing stuff, and finally you're saying, wait a minute, and you're getting it. because God is systematically going to allow you to give up those false beliefs, those false traditions, those false rituals. He's going to allow you to give those up to him. And then he will make your life so much better, not easier, because everybody's so indoctrinated in religion and churches, especially in the United States, that you are walking a lonely path. But it's okay because you've got him, because what? Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. You put your hand in his, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. So quit calling out people who think differently than you do. And just say, well, you know what? I'm not ready to accept that. And move along. It's that simple. So put your hand in Jesus. It's a good place to have it. See ya.